Like we're beating the eBay algorithm. We've kind of gone completely against the grain. It almost feels like a bit of a cheat code. I know this challenge is turning into pretty much how much can we make from savers, but it's just easy for us. The quality and the quantity is there. Hit rate's pretty good.
What's that?
It's a mostly empty stamp albums. These are so cool, but they're $4 each. Solomon Speed Cross 3, but I think they're too expensive. They're $23. But then the Johnny Was is $7.50. It's got like little thread pulls. I think I'm gonna get it.
That's a ripper find. Okay, we got 3 items from that store. A pair of rollies, a Sony Dream Machine, and a Johnny Was, what, top?
Yeah, 3 pretty searchable items using that SEO.
Yeah, so pretty happy with that. We'll probably head to a couple more. Hopefully find some more items.
Yep, we're back at Savers. We just went to 3 different op shops and bought nothing. So come through, Old Faithful.
All right, guys, we just had to do 2 trips into Savers because I spotted something behind the counter. I didn't get any footage of it, but I will show you in the car. I think all the stuff I have right now is probably more for sort of the main store.
Yeah, just not like quick enough flips for trash to travel.
But let's show you what we picked up for trash to travel.
All right, Brad spotted these 2 pairs of Zamberland behind the counter, and we've never picked this up before, but it's Gore-Tex. We looked it up, and it is very worthwhile with a very good sell-through for $80 for 2 pairs. They were marked at $50 each, but he spent our whole 20% off voucher. I see a $1 rack. Oh, it's expensive.
Oh, that's sick.
But
$40.
$40.
Wonder if we could negotiate on it, because that's awesome. 40 is too much, but what do you got down there?
What the heck? There's like 3 pairs of beautiful Iron Williams. They're marked at $35.
That's a buy. That's awesome.
How did you get here?
3 pairs. What size are they?
8.5.
Yeah.
How good was that? We nearly just skipped this one and went home. I'm so glad we didn't, because we got 3 pairs of R.M. Williams boots for $35 each, and the 90s Adidas that was marked at $40, she ended up doing for $20 for us because they'd had it for a while. What an angel.
I'm super happy that we did stop off there. We were starting to get a little bit of fatigue, not finding anything.
Yeah.
Just getting a lot of rubbish in the op shops. And then last one on the way home, 3 pairs of RMs and that Adidas jacket. Now, we're gonna decide if we're gonna put that all on the new store, or if we're gonna spread it out across the main and the new, because that's like $135 off the kitty there. But I think those boots alone should sell for about $150 each, maybe even $200 for those Santa Fe's.
They're beautiful.
So maybe $500 in boots, and then that jacket, that's a bit of an unknown. I'm pretty stoked with that find,
It's
actually.
so cool.
Yeah, so we're gonna make a decision, let you guys know what we're gonna put in the challenge, but I think it might be all 4.
$10 belts. You've got some shirts.
There's only one, wasn't there?
I think it was 2
That were 10. That was 10, that one. And that one, yeah. And then there were 2. Yeah.
What are we up to?
100.
20, 25,
Yeah, that's fine.
35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 125.
Perfect. I think we said that, didn't we? Yeah.
It was definitely worth the stop.
That's a whole new wardrobe, and we've left our phone number.
And I've got an armful of jeans here too. So.
Let's talk about our crazy haul from yesterday. We had to persevere, but in the end, it was all worth it. And apparently our thrift style is shoes. We spent up on these. I think it's going to be really worth it. To recap, Brad got the 2 pairs of Zamberlands at Savers for $40 each, and they're like new. They haven't been worn. So they're probably going to be about $150 to $200 sales. Then we also got the 3 pairs of R.M. Williams. They were $35 each. We've got 2 pairs of Santa Fe, which is with the stitching on the toe here. They are super popular. We also have a vintage pair of the Cuban heels, and we think that this is such a good deal that we're gonna also put that in the challenge. Yes, that's a big chunk out of our kitty, but at the start of this, we're investing in our product so that we can turn some really good money in the future. And I nearly forgot that we also scored on this wicked 90s Adidas jacket. It was marked at 40, but she did bring it down to 20 bucks because she said it had been there a while. I don't know how. We think that we'll get about 100 bucks for this. I keep hesitating to pay these savers prices for Rollies shoes, but I keep finding them and I'm really glad that I bought this one. I paid $14.79. We listed these yesterday and we're shipping them out today. Now I listed them for 55 plus post, but I've accepted an offer for 45 because that is just money back in our kitty.
Hey guys, it is Monday morning, the 18th of March, and we actually have 3 sales to pick on that brand new store, which is pretty awesome considering we only have like 12 items listed on that store. Now we did have a bit of a quieter weekend. Friday especially was very quiet. I've spoken to a few other people who have had similar experiences, so maybe eBay was doing a little bit of an update. Sunday was back to normal, but definitely down on normal. Jazz is currently picking the main store. We had a little bit of a SKU issue just before, which we managed to fix. So even with the most perfect SKU system, sometimes things go wrong, unfortunately.
Anytime that humans are involved, we make mistakes because we're not machines, but we have our quantity of 2. Moving on.
So I'll go over and pick that new stock from the new store right now. And there's actually probably a couple of things that you would have seen us pick up in this episode. So they have sold really quickly. And now we have 2 tubs on that main store. I'll put you guys down while I actually pick this stuff. First up was this pair of Allegras we sold for $50 plus post. You would have saw Jazz pick these up in either this episode or the one just before. So super happy to get those out the door. Next up was the pair of Zamberlands that we sold for $179.95. We picked up two of these in this episode for 40 bucks each. So to sell the 13 so quickly for $179.95, that's definitely going to get us some nice kilometers over on that scratch mat. And last up was that Johnny Was that Jazz picked up at Savers. We sold that for $50 plus post. There was a couple little threads in that were loose on that one, so we did describe that. But we're happy to take the $50 on that. Really quick flip on the Johnny Was. So I'm actually just going to pack up all this stuff into satchels probably. The Zamberlands are probably going to have to go in a box because they are massive. But these Allegras here probably fit into a medium because they are quite chunky. And we just use the padded mailers and we've never really had any issues with those. So pretty happy to have padded mailers on hand. We can just slide stuff into as long as they fit in there obviously and pay those standard shipping rates. So with all of our packages, we always write on there what the item is. So this one's Allegra. And we always go top to bottom in terms of order because that will match up with my post business. So just to show you guys, this is actually a pair of Allegras. We charged $14.80 post on that, but we ended up getting a discount because of our band 5, which brought it down to $11.60. So we're actually making a couple dollars on post. I haven't been including any of those extra postage costs that we have been gaining because of our discounts into the challenge at all, because I figure some stuff's probably going to go a little bit over and some stuff has been going under. So it all sort of equals out in the wash. Most of the time we're coming in under the price that we've actually charged. So there's probably a few extra kilometers left that we haven't put on that board, but for transparency, we're just trying to keep it nice and simple for you guys. Okay, with those Zamberlands, we're going to go in a large Oz Post box. That should be about $18 to $19, and I'll just put some padding around that just so they don't move around. These were brand new without box, so I don't want to get any more damage. And I've just shoved that Johnny Was in a small satchel. We've never really had any problems with sending clothing and stuff like this. So unless it's like super expensive, we'll just generally send it in a small satchel. So these are the Zamberlands here. You can see that we ended up paying $17.34 for that one. And we actually charged $18.95. So again, there's probably $1.60 on that, but we'll also pay for the box. So in the grand scheme of things, all this is kind of gonna equal out in the wash. We made a couple bucks on that other one. We made a couple bucks on this one. But then once you take out the postage supplies and that, I think it's pretty even. Johnny Was ended up being $8.48, and we have a flat rate of $9.95 for those small satchels. So again, we made a couple extra dollars on that one. I also want to say how good is it that we don't have to sign these things now. It's such a good update by my post business. I'm super glad that now we can just slap them on the packages and not worry about any of that. It just saved us a bunch of time. Okay guys, you would have seen us pick up that RM Williams lot at that garage sale. Absolutely stoked finding that. We thought we were going to find nothing that day. what we're going to do with this stuff is we're actually going to put some of it on the main store because we need to keep that store ticking as well. But we have picked out a few items that we're going to put on the new store, and it's not because we don't have the money to put on the new store, but we definitely don't want the main store to drop off completely. So I'll show you the things that we've picked out to put on the actual new store, because I think they're probably the items that will sell reasonably quickly and keep money moving through that. And then everything else like the polos and the jeans will go on the main, because we sell that stuff all the time there, and it just makes more sense for us to batch that up in our listing process. So head down this way and I'll show you what we actually picked out to put on that new store. As I said, we probably could have put it all on this new store, but otherwise we wouldn't have very many listings on the main today, and we definitely need to keep that going. So we've actually picked out 6 items, I think it is, and one of them is this RM Williams jacket, new with tags. Obviously coming into winter, we think that's going to move pretty quickly. And then we're going to list up all the RM Williams belts. I think there's about 5 there, and I ended up getting them for 25 bucks, I think it was, 2 for 10, and the other 3 I did a deal for 5 because they're a little bit older. But super stoked with that. We'll easily get our money back on one of those, let alone the other 4. So we're going to get into listing today, and we will do a little bit of a breakdown of what we've actually sold and purchased this video, because there's been a lot going on. Okay guys, I wanted to show you a couple of our processes that we do when we actually get this stuff in. So this is all the stuff that's going on the main store, as I just said. And I just talked a little bit about lotting stuff up and how we actually use these processes to allow us to get more stuff done. So right now I am actually putting all the shirts together so that when I come to drafting them, I know that I'm pretty much just doing shirts or jackets. They're all the same sort of measurements, they're all the same sort of type of items. So often we'll lot up like jeans and do them all together, and then shirts, jumpers, or any long sleeves we'll do together. And that just really allows us to do more things in one sitting rather than stopping and starting. We are going to be talking more about this sort of process stuff on our membership live, which is actually going to be the Tuesday just gone when this video goes up. But if you guys want to join that, I will leave a link in the description below. We're doing a live once a month talking about all things eBay, answering questions. And we're also using a Discord group for a bit of accountability. So if that's something you want to join, we actually have about 60 members in there at the moment, and it's a really great community. So jump on board, and if you want to learn a little bit more about eBay and join like-minded people who are looking to grow their business, that's definitely a good option for you guys. Another little process hack when we're actually listing is to have everything within arm's length. So I've got my trusty tape measure here. I've got my numbered bags in this box right here. So I just pick one out, slap the number on it for the SKU, and also the tub that I'm skewing into, so I know exactly where everything is and where everything's going to go, so I'm not questioning and wasting time when I'm actually drafting these items ready for Jazz to photograph them. And I think the biggest advantage of being in that members group is we can tailor what we're talking about to you guys specifically. So this sort of setup is working for us, but maybe something different will work for different people in different circumstances. So I know a lot of people that work from home will actually pack their shipping orders the night before, so they're ready to go the next morning. Obviously with us working in the warehouse, we don't have that luxury anymore, but there are all these little tweaks that you can make to your business to save you a bunch of time. Welcome back guys, Tuesday now, and we have another sale on the new store. It was one of those belts that we picked up on the weekend from that garage sale. Now this one had a little bit of damage on it, but it did end up selling for $42 plus postage. I'll just grab that one out now. So that one actually sold for $42.50 plus $9.95 postage, so that's our standard rate for any smalls. And as you guys saw yesterday, we are making a little bit of money on some of that shipping because of our band 5 discount, but it is still cheaper than a standard rate for most eBay customers. So most people are happy to pay for that $9.95. The new store, we are doing a lot of plus post items, just testing out the differences between plus and free. Obviously our main store is mostly free, not everything, but it's been interesting to see how plus postage has affected or benefited us, and we're still working out what the differences are. But nice to get another sale out the door.
It's Wednesday and we're back in the warehouse, and we actually have 4 sales to ship from our new store today, which is blowing our minds. Check out the graph, because we have actually had a sale on that store every day for the last 6 days. And yesterday we made $376 on that store. All right, I'm actually going to take the trolley down for these ones. Need a reversing beep. Beep, beep, beep. We've arrived at the new store. Okay, from NS1, we have one of our RM Williams belts that's sold. It's in 353. This one is the one that has a few gems missing from the buckle. We accepted $50 plus post on that belt. From NS2, we have our second pair of Zamberlands, and I can't believe how quickly these have sold. This pair went for 150 plus posts. We have another RM Williams belt, and it's the one that we spent $1 on. That one sold for $47.50 plus posts. And my favorite sale of today is the juicy couture velour jacket, which sold for $80 plus posts. We've kind of gone completely against the grain with this new store, and what I mean is that the general advice for starting a new store is to list up a bunch of cheap items to get some quick sales, and mainly to get that feedback built up. At the moment, we only have like 16 listed items and 2 feedback, and we're listing high ASP items, but it's working. I guess in a way we kind of feel like we're beating the eBay algorithm because we haven't actually been promoting these items until after the 2-week mark, and only 2 of our sales have sold on promoted listings. All of the rest have just been organic because we're just relying on them being in demand and really searchable items. And I'm sure a factor in that is that our listing quality is quite high. We've taken many photos before, we've made lots of listings before, so they look pretty professional. So only having those 2 positive feedback doesn't really seem to be holding this store back. It almost feels like a bit of a cheat code. We're gonna go ahead and get these packaged, and then we're gonna do a recap and see if we're actually traveling anywhere this week. All right, let's get to the fun part. I've got all my notes. Okay, at the start of this episode, we had $698.18, and we spent a whopping $261.58 on new stock this week. Speed breakdown of what we bought. Rolly Madison shoes for $14.79. The Johnny Was top for $6.79. 2 pairs of Zamberland boots for $80. 3 pairs of RM Williams boots for $105. A vintage Adidas jacket for $20, 5 RM Williams belts for $25, and 1 new RM Williams jacket for $10. That is a total of $261.58. That leaves $436.60 in the kitty. Luckily, we've had a ripper week in sales. After all those sales, it really topped the kitty up to $1,131.55. But we had to pay fees on those. Here is a speed run because we want to highlight the fees that we paid on each item. Rolly $7.66, Johnny Was $8.33, Zamberland $26.95, Allegra $8.93, RM Williams belt $7.33, Juicy $12.36, RM Williams $8, Zamberland again $22.94, and RM Williams $8.33. The reason that I wanted to highlight all of those is because none of those sales used promoted listings, and that's why we feel like we're beating the algorithm. I mean, I guess it just comes down to selling stuff that people want. After what felt like a math pop quiz, the kitty stands at $1,020.67. That means that we get to travel 322.49 kilometers on top of what we've already traveled. So we are scratching off all the way up here. We've gone past Streaky Bay, past Ceduna, all the way to Penong, where some of my family members might be banned from the Penong pub, which means we are now right here. We're so stoked to see that store doing so well so early on and without using all of eBay's selling tools. We're feeling pumped, and we're gonna get straight back out there and find some more stuff to flip. We'll see you on the next one.